Hello and welcome to this final session of the second arc of Hearts of Wulin Numberless Secrets. Our characters have been looking into the mystery with the attempted poisoning of an Imperial official and the death of someone who turned out to be a secret Imperial officer. And the group have seen that there are a lot of webs and tensions and things like that hanging around in here. Did anyone get a new move? No. Okay. So in that case, what I would like to do is, as I say before we started. Oh, hey, my name is Lowell, pronouns he him, and this is part of the Open Hearth Gaming Calendar. I'm sure you know that if you're listening to the end, because I can't imagine anyone who would just watch this last episode of the series, unless they're the kind of people who skip to the end of an Agatha Christie novel, which is also a thing. Uh, so we have one cat being super cute on camera there, very adorable. So we are going to go around, and the group has kind of met and talked about things last time about what's out in the air. And we're going to take up kind of from there. There were some scenes that ended that, and I think we kind of ended with the Chow Lin scene last time. So I will move forward to Bao Shi to kind of put you in first seat today. Uh, is there a scene you want to do? Is there a person you want to talk to, or do you want to pass and have me come back to you?
I'm going through stuff right now to check and see. Come back to me.
Okay, Song Da, let's come to you. Uh, you've gotten some information. You have some stuff out there about the Bureau of Legends and people to talk to. There's some threads to go on. What would you like to do?
Um, so I've got an idea for another tinkering strange device sort of thing.
Sure.
Winter Iris, is that it? Winter Iris. Hey, I remember the name.
Yeah.
Um, we figured out that as part of her Dragon Guard thing, she had this hairpin that had a match to it that was like how they would identify each other. And it had some of that strange Moist design stuff to it. So I wonder if there's a way I could unfold it, change it sort of thing to where it could track towards its mate, like a way to track down the other person sort of thing.
How would it do that?
Um, I'm imagining it's designed to sort of act like a compass, like fold out into a thing. I don't know. Just an idea with the when you mentioned the Moist design work to
So,
it.
so you're saying that you want something that maybe acts like a magnet, that the two pieces are magnetized, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Does that seem like a reasonable thing? But of course, you're making it into a super magnet through fantasy lore conventions, which I think is perfectly fine. Yeah, I think that we have a a principle that we elaborate on to the point of absurdity. That's what alchemy and steampunk stuff is in this kind of thing. So I think that's great. So yeah, what my two elements marked friend do you want to roll that with?
Everything is going so great. Uh, I do think it's water. I think it's that awareness thing. I think it's like being able to see into the subtle sub mechanisms of it and like figure out how to twist and fold and turn it.
Okay, then let's have you make that roll. I should get the roller up, shouldn't I?
Oh no, I didn't put my name in. That's an 8.
That is an 8. So it is going to
Its
be,
effect is brief or unstable.
yeah, you're going to have to essentially make it, and you can tell that you're going to have to kind of run through town to find this. So
Yeah, I think he like unfolds the last part, and there's like a needle piece of it hanging in some strings, so it can like turn compass like in the right direction, but it's like fraying or falling apart. And so Sogda just goes rushing off like towards the window, leaping out the balcony to the opposite roof's top, and starts running.
and I think that you will rush through town. You kind of expect to be heading towards either the palace area or the temple, but you find yourself going a different direction. And it kind of, there's that, and you find yourself in the marketplace, and there's people coming around and they're bumping you, and they're celebrating and stuff, so there's like a parade going, and you have to lightness over the parade and then kind of chase out.
Nice.
And I think you come, and you find yourself standing behind this young girl. She's maybe 13, 14. She's dressed up, and you see that she is buying some things, and you are right behind her, like whoop, and you can see that she's got that hairpin, the matching one to this.
Um, hmm. You, where did you get that hairpin?
And you'll see the color drain away from her face, and you will hear a voice go, "Sangda, why are you accosting my daughter?" And you'll look over and you will see Gucheng Jianfei, the merchant.
Oh.
And he comes over to you, and he says, what is something wrong? Why should a historian like yourself be concerned with the matters of a young woman?
I was just noticing the design of her very unique hairpin. It
You see him
caught me by surprise.
turn and look, and his eyes get like narrow with anger, and you see him reach out and he wrenches the hairpin out of her hair, like to the point where she shrieks a little, and he says, "You will go home now, daughter, and you are grounded for the rest of these festivals." She runs off crying.
That is a unique piece.
"I am a connoisseur. I collect such things. Why is it of interest to you, good Master Songda?"
Sort of like look conspiratorially to either side and
He
move a
goes,
bit into the shadows.
Let us go into a nearby tea house. This seems like a work with that may require a little bit of thirst. Shall we sit?"
Yes, that would perhaps ease things along.
He will lead you into there, and he will have you sit. Tea, it's brought over. You were saying, Master Songda.
I was saying that you have an almost unique piece there. In fact, I've only ever seen one other of its kind. And he'll dramatically pull out the folded compass and go to like deftly twist it back into its shape, and it just sort of like breaks along its hinge there and falls apart into several different pieces. But he holds up one triumphantly that looks very like the left side of the hairpin that he has.
And how did such a thing come into your possession, Master Songda?
Well, it's not actually my possession exactly. It's more, was more evidence, I suppose, in the murder of Winter Iris.
The young librarian.
The same.
So you are telling me that she had possession of this?
Yes, this marker of the Dragon Guard.
He slaps you. Like he
No!
slaps you. And he says, get that name out of your mouth and do not say such things out loud.
Ow! Oh, that's ow!
Those are murder words in some places.
Well, then why is your daughter wandering around the market with that in her hair?
Because she is a willful young woman who decided that she would raid her father's jewelry box for a decoration on this celebration day.
And what, you're trying to tell me that it's just a coincidence that you have this secret sign, this amulet, this link to a victim of murder?
I think, given that I already slapped you for trying to say those words, would suggest that no, I am not saying
Well,
that it's a
I
coincidence.
didn't say those words.
No, but I'm saying what I am saying is I do not deny.
Oh,
there
wait,
is a
you're not
connection.
saying the words.
No, I'm not.
Oh, but you're not saying the words.
I have, for most of my adult life, been in the service. I have been here, and on occasion, persons from a certain order come to me for assistance and information and support, and even, dare I say, protection, safe houses, that kind of thing. I tell you this because I know that you are a man of discretion, and you will not write this down or repeat this.
Under the
And
right
then he stops and he
circumstances.
goes, you are a man of discretion, are you not? And you see him put both his hands on the table very flat.
It depends on if you're a man of honor. This could very easily be construed as an intimate connection to someone who is murdered. Very close to the Dowager Empress and a prince.
Did I hear a question in there? Was there something you wish me to say in response?
Well, if it's murder evidence, then I can't very well keep it quiet, can I?
Why would it be murder evidence that would be tied to myself or to others? Are you suggesting that you plan to present this? And are you suggesting that the question is whether I was connected with the killing as a result of this thing?
Yes, those things. There's obviously a secret mission of people of unnameable origin here, and someone tried to divert that mission, and it ended in poisoning and death, and this all flowed a lot more easily when Bao Shi said it.
No, I think you have the gist of it in how you have said that. But I will tell you honestly that while I certainly did expect there to be a person arriving here, they did not contact me yet. And he will reach inside his jacket and he will pull out a book. It's a scribbled copy. There's bloodstains on it. It looks worn. This was put into my care some months ago by a agent who was on death's door when he arrived and who passed away. But the instructions that I were given was to hold this and to hand this off to a person from the order, which I've asked you not to say the name of out loud again.
You were told to hand it off to someone who would identify themselves with the appropriate sign.
That was part of it. Do not play at this. I am planning on handing this to you. Do not have to justify things. I have only glanced at it. It is a book of unorthodox Taoist techniques, body transformation, manipulation, horrible things, not self modification, but things which are done to others.
Chi impediments and curses?
Chi impediments, the reshaping of bones in unpleasant ways, the transfer of chi essences and memories.
This is dark alchemy.
This is forbidden techniques beyond even the pale of the most unorthodox clans. I will tell you that I am much relieved that I can hand this off to you and it is no longer in my care. Because had I been found with it, or should you be found with it, the sentence would be death unless you could explain it. Push.
He'll look around nervously and quickly put it in his coat where no one can see it.
And now, my guess is that you will agree that I'm a man of honor and that you should not say things about these matters out loud.
You have indeed shown yourself to be honorable. I would ask one exception. These murders have to be solved and this case has to be stopped. There is no mind like Bao Shi's for unraveling criminal networks.
You may share this with your companions, but please do not publicly present this or state this, or both the life of my family and myself will be put in danger.
You have my word, sir.
Good. Well, the albatross is yours, and he will stand up. I must go and attempt to stop my daughter from crying and pretend to be more harsh, and then let her out this evening when her friends go out to parlay and party and such. So I have a father's duty to carry out.
You look rather chipper now.
Yes, I don't have a death sentence on my coat pocket. Enjoy. He will head out. Lost Song Shanai.
Yes. So what I would really like to do is to go and find Moon and Thunder and get him out of that place.
So that feels like a study roll to try and figure out where Moon and Thunder is.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. That would be the first thing, is watching that place. So
Wow. Why don't you roll?
okay. I got it. Well, I'll tell you why I'm not rolling right now.
Because you don't have the roller open?
Opened it and closed it. Is that
Why would
what I-
somebody do that to
I
you?
don't know. It's just terrible. Why do I do these things to myself?
I have a
Oh,
little
it's
image of
probably the cats.
yeah, Tomo's
No.
little paw coming over.
If only. All right.
But
Okay.
Toots is the internet cat.
She doesn't deserve any fame. Oh, okay. So I guess this would be focus, I think. So I'm gonna add 2d6. Whatever my result is, I'll add 3. I got a 3. It's a study though.
Wow. Do you wish to mark a shadow?
Yeah. Let me look at which ones I have available. Ah, all but one.
Yes, you cleared yours, didn't you?
Yes.
Almost as if you knew that you would fail a study roll at some point in the future.
I knew I was going to because that's what I do mostly. I think this really is a good one to be to go back to Blue Mountain Scholar. That in all of my time traveling with him, he was always incredibly protective and always kept me very safe as much as he could for the things that he was doing. The only time that any risks were taken or when someone had gone missing, particularly if it was like, the word was bandits had taken them or something like that. And that would be the time when I would get like, the little lecture of you have to be very quiet, you have to do this, but he didn't leave me behind. And he would talk me through how he was doing the thing, like almost like I needed to know how if I had to find someone, even from the time I was little. And it's that whole thing of no matter what's going on, even though it's dangerous, you have to go through this process. You have to understand what you're getting yourself into, understand if you're going to try to bring someone out of the situation, if that's where they are, the risks in, working through all of those things. And there's just, I think there's a thing of her watching the people moving around this temple, remember, thinking through what she's seen and all of that stuff. I know that there's the guards from the royal guards are out there too, but they're outside. So it's that sort of get the pattern, understand what's moving around, who's moving around, how they're coming and going, and what part of it, if any, looks different than usual.
And I think you'll find yourself, the question is, where is Moon in Thunder? That's the question you're asking, correct? I think you will find yourself kind of up on the roof of one of these buildings on the temple, been kind of watching for a good part of the day. You've come to have the sense that that second floor, that sort of built-in floor, is kind of cramped, and that's not where they would be able to keep someone. But the other parts of the temple, there aren't great places to conceal someone except for that downstairs, and you don't think they would have used that. And the problem is, it's actually risky to move somebody out of town because of the various guards and watches and things like that. And I think that you're sitting there and you're listening to the ching ching of the things, and I think you look over just a block away at one of the crossroads, and you see this demon figure, good 12, 15 feet tall there, the effigy that is to be burned this evening.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I mean, I knew the monk was evil, but this is truly horrible.
What do you do?
It's not under their control right now, though, right?
Correct. That is, It looks like he was handy, a block away from the temple. An easy excuse for people like working on it and that kind of thing, but it's all set up now and the little barrier is around it.
Little barriers around it.
People are walking by, laying flowers and little offerings, paper money to be burnt along with this. And
So, if I remember correctly, the people from the House of the Golden Songs were still kind of around because the royal party came quickly, didn't they?
oh, yeah, they are earning coin at the edges, the small performers.
I think that is who I will go to speak to, because if I remember, the one fellow has some illusions and the other two are fine acrobats. We could do a little show and essentially get someone up there and see if we can get him in there. I will go and see them.
Okay. Let's have you roll hearts and minds as you find Impermanent Saint.
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
It is you.
It is me.
Yes.
And Bausi had much to recommend about your skills.
Oh,
He said-
about she is a man of taste and
He is.
discernment.
Exactly. I depend upon him for all sorts of, knowledge about who to depend upon.
Yes, go on.
I have a rather dire story to tell. Say, and this is, she goes, well, I have coin as well. And I will set the bag down. And it actually has the silver tile.
Yeah.
Tiles, the small ones in there, where it makes that big chunky sound. And she sort of steps and says,
16 tails. He doesn't count it like he hears the sound of it and he clearly calculates.
"Whoa, you are very good." And she sort of steps and says, there is a effigy of a demon that's to be burned this evening.
Mhm.
There will be a great deal of excitement and fire and all kinds of fun around it in the evening. The unfortunate thing, though, is that I am fairly sure that there is someone who is inside of it, exactly. And so I have to extract them, but I have to make sure that it isn't clear that's what's going on, because there's some pretty bad people that put them in there. She goes,
Say no more. Say no more. Give me this afternoon to observe the scene. I will gather my cohorts together, and it needs to be handled at dusk when the light is a little but be there, and I will put on an illusion that will conceal it for a time.
excellent.
And you may take that opportunity, to you and your companions, to extricate the potential victim.
All right, we will have a cart. Thank you.
Yes. Now let's have you roll that hearts and minds to see if he actually does this.
We'll do it. Let's see here. I don't want to fight, so. Earth stuff. I think Earth.
Okay.
Fits still the best. Okay, here we go. That's a 10.
It's like, this is no problem. I will take care of this. I will see you this evening.
Excellent. I will tell him where I will be.
Okay. We'll do that scene after we get everybody's thing done. Does that seem fair?
That seems more than fair.
We still got 2 more people. If anybody wants to talk to somebody, Shaolin, Baoshi want to study to gain another clue on the table or 2, that is possible. Shaolin, let us come to you.
I think I want to talk to Lord Yao.
You will arrive at the house of Master Jiajing. Lord Yao is there. He is in kind of a smaller wing, the kind of wing of attendant officials there. You can tell that he's down several degrees in status because one of the servants simply takes you to him, doesn't have you wait and bring him out to you, and will knock on the door and enter, and door is open, and Lord Yao is reclining there drinking. You see him roll up a document there, kind of pushes it off to the side, kind of looks surprised to see you. It's Shaolin, is it not?
It is, yes. I did not have a plan for this.
Come in and sit.
Yeah.
Wine?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Overfills a cup and hands it to you. So I heard, and I do not know if it's true, but I am a man who sometimes enjoys a little bit of gossip, that you and the lovely sister Lushan were once had your names joined together, as it were.
It we were going to there was some miscommunication. We are on amicable terms still.
I love the hesitation as you say that. That makes me think that perhaps what one might define as amicable varies.
I have no ill will toward her. I am not sure about her feelings toward me.
So
Why did you ask?
Because I have learned that it is best to poke at people's painful wink spots in hopes of putting them off balance when they're clearly coming to question me.
I see.
What can I do for you?
I've heard that you have some sort of dispute with Indigo Judgment.
That is a complicated thing. I do not care for him.
I know that he's involved in the situation surrounding the murder and the attempted murder in some way. I was hoping you could shed some light on that.
Let's have you make a study roll.
Cool. Wrong tab. I think this is about as close to calculation and reflection as I get. So it doesn't matter because that's a failure no matter what I did.
Ooh,
Is it a study roll?
It is a study roll.
Oh, then you can use a shadow.
Oh, that brings it up. Up
1 degree.
1 degree. Okay, cool. I was gonna say it doesn't matter because like that I rolled a 2, but it does matter if it's,
Yes.
brings up 1 degree. Yes, then I will use one of those.
So tell us which shadow and what kind of flashback do we get here?
I mean, since he brought it up, maybe passion. I think that the reason Shaolin left town was an argument with Sister Lushan that seemed a lot more serious than it was. Like, Shaolin, I like believe that this was just a complete and total rejection. He has since learned that she didn't mean it that way, but like so much of a complete and total rejection that he didn't even question it. And left town like the next day. Just absolutely did not stick around at all. This was not one of the better decisions of his life. But and yeah, I have no idea where I was going with that.
No, I
was
think
gonna connect it
that's
back in
more
some
than
way, but
enough. I think that
yeah.
that's perfect. I think there's a link to that. So that brings you to a 7 to 9. You can
Yep.
gain 1 hold or 2 hold if you take a cost.
Let me see. Okay, so I need 1 hold to. Do I need a clue or? Sure. Let's take a cost and I'll make it a clue.
I think we see someone outside listening to this, and
Awesome.
I think they overhear you. They overhear what's said about Sister Lushan and her connection to you, and I think we see them head off screen to pass that information on to someone.
Oh, great.
Shaolin, I will tell you something, but if I am ever asked about this, I will say that I have no knowledge of it. And while I have fallen much, I am still of a rank that people will accept my word over yours.
I have no trouble believing that.
I was sent to solve a problem at the Verdant Society. And the situation became complicated. And that situation, I was sent there by Imperial Writ, but as your friends found, not exactly Imperial Writ, but they did not find who had in fact sent me. I was sent there by the Empress Dowager to deal with that situation. And it got more complicated from there. I do not want to dwell on it. But I will tell you that I know that there were 2 children that had Imperial blood, an alternate Imperial bloodline. And in the game of swapping, of trading of pieces that Indigo Judgment played, he ended up with those 2 from this lost line. One of them he raised within the scholars society within the historians, keeping his relationship secret, which I'm sure must be great for the ego of a child if your father will not acknowledge you publicly. When all of this was said and done, and when I was discommodited by the events at the puzzle sword, I moved to try and perhaps assure my position. I did that using the knowledge that I had, and I will not say that I am a hero or a villain, perhaps more of the latter than the former. But I went to try to seize this child, this young man, perhaps to use him as a chip in all of this. But he was already gone, and no one knows where he went. I suspect. That is what I know. That is what I know as a fact. I suspect that Indigo Judgment killed him to make sure that there were no loose threads. That I can't, that's a speculation, that's a guess. But that's what I know, is that there was this child. And that child, no one knows where they are. They would be about the age of Song Da or the prince. So they're not a child, but there we are. And now I am going to get woefully drunk. So if you will excuse me.
Thank you. And of course, I didn't hear this from you.
Be sure to put that in the mystery map.
Yeah.
Bao Shi.
Oh, I'm glad I waited. I had several people and some of them have narrowed down, so that makes me happy.
Good.
I would like to go speak with Pine.
I think that just for the sake of narrative and such, you will find Pine and Grave of Saints and a couple of the other, like the children of the Verdant Sword Society. Anyone who is, say, from 8 to 12 or 13, they've been brought down to have a chance to participate in the festivities. So he will find Pine and Grave of Saints kind of sitting at the Verdant Sword house here, and Grave of Saints like hears you coming and it stands and just as you come in says, Master Bao Shi.
Oh, Grave of Saints. Your hearing is most discerning.
Your step is most distinctive.
Oh, well, I'll have to work on that.
And Pine will say, it is good to see you again, Master Bao Shi. I enjoyed our conversation when you were at the society.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to see you again as well. And if you have a bit of time, I wish to seek your wisdom.
And Pine will turn to Grave of Saints and they will say, will you go and check on the mentors and make sure they are watching out for the children? He will nod. I will take my leave of you, Master Bao Shi.
Thank you very much. And it is lovely to see you again.
The pleasure is mine. Pine will gesture for you to sit down. I understand that you are now running in the same circles as the somewhat badly trained and ill-disciplined Shaolin.
Shaolin has very graciously joined in our little Oh, organization. Our little team of troublemakers, I suppose.
He has an admirable directness that I think you will find useful.
I found him to be an honorable companion and a truly great help.
Absolutely. If he applied himself, he would be even better.
I'm optimistic that that in our company he will find chance to flourish.
I hope so, for his sake. But those are other matters that I sure is not why you have come here to speak with me.
No, I come because I trust your counsel, and even more, I trust that I can seek it with a degree of discretion.
Go on.
There are very dangerous things afoot. Things that I and my friends have become embroiled in that could very easily get them killed.
Already put your foot in that particular noose some months ago.
And it seems like all of it comes back to that fateful encounter. You've, of course, were present at the poisoning at the dinner and in the subsequent death of the librarian. I feel almost certain Indigo Judgment is very much to blame. Further, I believe the Emperor has intent to disband the Bureau.
Really?
The librarian that was killed is one of his dragons. And
Go on.
perhaps foolishly, I let this be known to the Dowager Empress and Lady Fathom. The intent of the librarian was to find evidence to bring down the Bureau and Indigo Judgment in particular. This makes Indigo Judgment very much the suspect for the death. But it might also implicate Higher if he has a very well-placed ally who now has become aware of my knowledge here.
I take your meaning.
What I wish as counsel, why I come, is I still cannot quite puzzle out if killing this librarian, how does Indigo think this will save him? Unless he is planning something drastic and just needs time.
Go on.
You're well aware of the changing of the children amongst the Verdant Sword.
As you well know, I looked out for Cricket. I knew that she I knew that she was the real daughter of Master Fawn, but shunned away, and that was I knew that Master Fawn didn't want much to speak of her dalliance with the leader of the Green Leaf Society, and that she had put that behind her because she had a role in his death. And so this daughter was a living symbol of that.
And hopefully she has moved on to happiness and safety.
Well, she's with that Sun Yang young man, and I don't know what to make of
Yes.
him.
I have my own. Yes, I personally, yes, I agree. But
No.
it is far better than perhaps dangerous entanglements.
It is better. And she has a sister now in Cheng Rogong. So there is that. Her sister will look after her.
Yes, fiercely, I imagine.
Very fiercely.
But there are others with the blood royal, aren't there?
That was my impression.
We have discovered the remains of the Dowager's oldest son.
What are you talking about?
The Buddha. Within it were the remains of the prince.
Your librarian came to the Verdant Sword Society when they first arrived and went through our records. In particular, she was looking for any notes we had on members of the Verdant Sword Society having crossed paths with a broken Taoist wizard. I think she found some things there. But my impression was that she was looking for more records on that. Whatever she was investigating, whatever she felt that there was something tied in to that.
Broken by, you mean madness?
I mean, worse than unorthodox. I mean, a practitioner of the darkest of arts. My impression was that this dark priest had been traveling around and that she was seeking some tracks for him. I assumed it was at the Dowager Empress's request, but if you say this, then I do not think that is the case.
No.
It's not Indigo Judgment, it is someone else, but they may be tied into this.
It's still not. The pieces have not fully fallen into place, but I tell you, I fear when they do, the picture will be most foul.
If anything happens and you are under threat, the Verdant Sword Alliance owes you and your companions a debt that we will honor.
That is a kindness, and I will make sure that my friends are protected.
She reaches out, she puts they put their hand on your shoulder and they say, the people that the Dowager Empress has surrounding her are very dangerous.
Yes. Is it possible that Indigo intends to help declare a rival claimant? Would that even be
I
possible?
couldn't say. Something like that would require, I couldn't say.
I admit I'm just wondering aloud at what insanity he may be planning. But if this dark wizard intends to do something with the remains of a blood royal, oh, it could be unspeakable.
I think it already is unspeakable.
That's
Cut.
a good one. Yeah.
Let's take our first break. Let's take 10, come back, rescue Moon and Thunder, and then go to some talking. Okay. Recording. So it's the effigy is there. It's a symbolic thing done this evening. People have made offerings to it. There are dancers, there are performers around. There's giant cattail goes across. And we will see that a good portion of the Moon Petal performers have shown up, including, of course, Ning Yinao and Ning Yuyan and some others, and they are putting on a show for the children. This is what they do. This is their specialty, acrobatics and, sleight of hand magics and things like that, and kind of making fun of merchants who are there and pulling things out of pockets and all of that kind of thing. Even as Impermanent Saint has put a ring, like a bamboo ring, around the outside of the statue. And there is that bit where he is there, and at a certain point he gestures and the ring rises up and curtains emerge down from it to conceal the statue, and it's spinning around and it's doing this thing. As it spins, it's kind of doing a like flickering shadow play on the outside there. So you have your 5-minute window tonight. All of you are there. How do you want to do this? Tell me. Everyone has to have a role in this. So do you want to assign roles, or does everybody want to come up with a role for themselves?
I want everyone to come up with their own role.
Bao Shi, what are you doing? What is your role in this heist?
Oh me. I think my role is to find the point of entry.
Okay.
Mine is to figure out how we can get in there without the whole thing falling down.
Absolutely. So what is that? Like what is the way that you have figured out to get everybody in under the curtain and into the thing?
I think that with the big curtain around, he made it large enough that there's actually a manhole sewer grate that can come up, so that we can come up from that sewer grate And at the base of the statue, where it was built over, knowing it was going to be on fire, they built that base so that it kind of abuts onto the sewer
there's
grate.
a
So
river here, so this is a river runoff tunnel. Absolutely. So you found that way in. Song Da, what is your role in this caper?
And is the effigy on fire yet, or
No, not yet. No.
Gotcha. Um,
Are you distracting potential people? Are you opening up the object? Are you watching for something else? Are you helping with the magic trick? Are you dealing with the cats? Wrangling them?
um, I think I'd like to help with the magic trick.
Okay.
I think I've worked up some fireworks to help
Absolutely.
like keep people's distraction and to cover up any sounds they might make inside.
Yeah. So fireworks, and what else? What has Impermanent Saint, what have they shown you trickery wise that you've incorporated into this?
It's how to make these like intricate animal shapes with the fireworks rather than just like balls or like umbrellas or whatever.
Absolutely. He has taught you a little bit of that, and you are using the
I'm
pyrotechnics.
good with birds. I
Yes.
have that communication move, so I think I'm good with doing birds.
Yeah, flying. They fly around before they burst into beautiful flames. You've got them circling around as this shadow play is going on. Shaolin, what are you doing?
I mean, I think my role is to be the person who actually climbs into it and drags, assuming it is Moon and Thunder in there, out. Otherwise, whoever is in there, if someone is.
Okay. Yeah, and what are you doing, Shania?
Well, I've driven the cart, so I bring the cart over,
Okay.
and essentially I'm there ready to help Shaolin carry him down and get him in there as quickly as possible.
Did I mention that I'm really good at cart driving?
You are not.
Are you sure you don't want me on that?
We argue like siblings on this.
So Shaolin, I need an overcome roll.
I think appropriately this is fire.
Yes.
Just going for speed here. Nope. That's a 5.
That is a 5. Would anyone like to burn bonds?
Comfort. Yeah, I can do a comfort and support on the
Okay, so let's start with you.
Okay. So I have to roll one though, I think, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so we just have this whole domino of terrors, but
Oh, no.
no.
The whole place goes up in flames.
This is me when things start to go bad, you see her give you the look of just hold there. She's very much going to try to bring you through it, like a landing an aircraft, but it's yeah. So there we go. So I'm rolling 2d6, and
Yes.
I will add I'll add earth because I am in fact using my presence to draw your attention in ways that 6 + 3 is a 9.
Okay.
So you get a +1.
Okay. So now they're at a 6. Does anyone, Song Da, Bao-Shi?
I have a bond with Shaolin.
If you wish to burn that, you can get that to a 7.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that you will get them out. I think that it is a little rougher, a little more difficult, but you will get them out of that thing. You have to kind of open it up. You will find a bound, tied Moon and Thunder kind of Chowling kind of hall. There's that sliding. Baoshi, you help the sliding under the curtain to get it into the cart that's covered. Kind of move that away. Give the signal to Song Da, you let off a particular firework that's particularly spectacular, and you will see when you do that the curtains drop down. And the demon statue is vanished, and everyone gasps. And then Impermanent Saint throws his hands up, and the ring flies back up into the air, and then the curtains explode outward in streamers, and the demon statue is back, and people go ape shit nuts. They love it. And I think we will cut to the four of you kind of through the night, running back to Baoshi's lodgings. You will get Moon and Thunder up there. You will untie his bonds, and will look at you, and he will say, what happened?
You don't remember?
The last thing I remember is I heard that the Empress Dowager was coming to the temple. I do not know you.
We know you. You, and she sort of stops and goes, you are Moon and Thunder?
Yes, that is who I am.
We met you at the temple. We know that.
I don't remember meeting you.
I think that you had your memory wiped. And I sort of turn and I look at Song Da. And then I look at Baoshi and I say, I believe that the monk there has some potent magics and alchemy.
I think I may know what sort of techniques he's drawing on.
I have heard that there was a dark Taoist who may be working blasphemies.
Moon and Thunder will stop, and he will go, that is why I came here. I had heard rumors that a practitioner who had caused upset across the northern lands had made his way here, but I did not know where he was. I followed him as far as Bad Valley and learned that he had stolen secrets of poison there from various unpleasant folk. I made my way here, but I had not had a chance. I had hoped to go through the temple records. I know that they've had various encounters with him, and I thought by going through those, I might locate some description of him.
We were investigating a murder there at the temple that happened for a dinner at which the Dowager Empress was at. You were there as well?
I have no recollection of this.
Similar thing has happened to a friend of ours. Except that when he woke up, he was blinded.
Well, then I am grateful that that was not my fate.
Well, you would have been far worse than blinded come the end of the night, I fear.
What do you mean?
I believe you were meant to be immolated inside of the statue, the effigy we rescued you from.
and he'll kind of lay back, like this is clearly a lot for him. And he will say, I need to
Oh, get some tea, please.
And she sort of steps and says, you need to do nothing more. To just us having to find you led us to the things that we needed to know.
And it would be best if you remain unseen.
And she goes, and you also saved a couple lives. We will tell you all of the story, but now you need to rest.
I will. And he will. You can tell that Orchid kind of knows about tending for people, and she's put a little bit of particular lavender and some sulfuric. I can never say that, sulfuric. So whatever.
It's got some letters in it.
Sleep shit in there. And he will quickly pass into slumber.
I believe that this dark priest intends some sort of resurrection of the dead prince.
My guess is that he actually intends to mold someone else in the likeness of that prince. I don't know. Does it really matter? He
I
is
think
that
he
dark
was.
priest, that dark Taoist.
Song done?
Yes, song.
I think he was also here looking for this, and I'll pull out the dark techniques and arts book. I think this is what Winter Iris was killed for. Someone assumed that it had already been passed off to her. It was supposed to make its way into her hands.
And I will say, considering our friend Grave of Saints, who was present when this dark priest did its work upon him, Indigo Judgment.
Yes.
We have a direction. We have some thoughts here. We have a mystery, and we have some clues, and we have some mystery facets. We started last time with Janai, so I would like to start this time with Shaolin and then move around. So we'll go Shaolin, Baoshi, Songda, and then back to Janai. And again, we have on the table 11 clues. One of them is already associated with a facet, but we have the others that can be associated with that. I think when we say the mission of the Dragon Guard, that as Patrick has established it also includes kind of why was she killed? That the sense of the murder there. Again, you don't have to pick one of your own clues. You can pick another one. And not all the facets have to be attached to things. So, Ethan, what clue would you like to start with, and like what role does it play in the solution that we think we have here?
I think the both princes are dead, and who is the masked prince?
Okay.
I think the masked prince is the young man Indigo Judgment raised.
And which facet do you want to associate that with?
Yeah, it's the thing. We don't really know what Indigo Judgment's facet is yet. Kind of do, but probably the Empress Dowager's visitation. There we go.
So do you want to do that with the last clue or the clue before that one?
Oh, you're right. The clue before that one.
Okay.
Although that one it's related too.
Yeah, I think you'll get a chance. You can associate that other one on the way back. You're going to have a second one to do, but I think so. The princes have been killed. We know that they've died. That the Empress Dowager has has hidden that truth. And it's likely that the emperor probably was behind it. That's neither here nor there. But she is looking for a replacement. And that's what we're saying there. Bao Shi.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and just take the Winter Iris as a token of the current Emperor's Dragon Guard. I think that rumors have reached the Emperor that something in this is a danger to the throne, and that's why he sent one of the Dragon Guard in to begin the investigation. He's aware that this is a danger spot for his reign.
So do you want to associate that with the mission of the Dragon Guard or with the Emperor's Dowager?
The mission of the Dragon Guard.
Okay. So knows that something is up with Indigo Judgment. That's a primary thing, you know, that's kind of that intersects, and she was sent for that reason. Yeah. Okay. So turn that facet and check that off.
Okay.
Yeah. Song Da.
I think the chamber full of sigils and decorations and the weird human box and the bones, along with the idea of the like corrupted techniques. I think that is the Dowager Empress, like Sherry said, working to warp someone into a replacement of one of the dead princes.
And I think you would know from looking at this document, from the sigils that Chow Lin brought you the details back, it can't be just anyone. There has to be at least some kind of blood connection, which would definitely make sense. So yeah, change that facet and check that off. Lost Song Shinai.
Think that bizarre selection of scrolls goes back to the mission of the Dragon Guard. They were looking after, again, they understood that there seemed to be a tie between this weirdness and Indigo Judgment.
That they were looking for documentation
About the Dark Taoist.
Taoist and his potential tie to this Indigo Judgment and what's gone wrong with the society.
Yes.
All right. We come back to you, Chow Lin. Did you want to connect that last one?
Oh yeah, so that's yeah, Indigo Judgment didn't kill him. He's still alive for a little while longer at least.
That is who the prince is. Probably kept in some kind of daze. He's from what you've seen, he's probably already gone through the first set of procedures. You know, his face is partially concealed to keep people from realizing that it's changing over time. And Indigo Judgment is doing this to his own ward. Bao Shi. Muted.
Damn it. I hit it twice. All right. Orders to kill the great verdant master came directly from either the late emperor or the Dowager Empress. I think from the Dowager Empress. And that was to conceal all of the people who knew of the swapping, as many of them as possible, who could then identify this plot she and Indigo Judgment have going on.
It does suggest that this whole thing about a secondary line and this existence is probably not known to the Emperor, but is known to the Dowager Empress.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes with the visitation, you think?
Yeah, that's the visitation.
Perfect. Song Da.
I'm sort of vague on this, but
Sure. We can work it. It's a writer's room.
The idea of someone else in the room with Winter Iris.
Yeah, we know that Moon and Thunder had been in there, and then somebody else came in. Was that the Temple Priest? Was that Indigo Judgment? Who was that?
I think it was actually Lady Fathom.
Ooh.
I think Lady Fathom, a trusted advisor of the Dowager Empress, was actually one of the first people to be replaced by, or copied by this dark technique, and was sent in to like prime her and get her, like slowly convince her to come over to this plan, this dark plan, this desperate plan of replacing one of her sons.
So she's proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
She is the demonstration by this dark priest that this could be done. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, that's great, Patrick. Yeah. So probably the visitation of the Dragon Guard. I think either one of those fits.
Yeah, Dragon Guard. Because they were also here looking for that book. Like, it's all scrabbling over those techniques.
So the real Lady Fathom was killed as like that Dragon Guard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Lost Song Janai.
Oh. We have the thing that Winter Iris was killed by the poison on the scroll she was reading, which does suggest someone prepped for it. And I think that I'm going to put it together that this was actually Indigo Judgment, hoping to set something up to catch us, because he also did the thing where he poisoned Black Pearl and specifically used or had the Dark Priest use the stuff that looked like Songbird June's poisoning, because he was familiar with that, and hoping to catch Bao Shi in a mistake.
Implicate. Interesting. All right. I like that. So do you want to attach that to the attempted poisoning of Black Pearl then?
Yes.
Okay.
This is essentially a thing that he thought would distract from what was actually going on.
Nice. Chow Lin.
Okay. I thought I almost had something for the hidden second floor. Let's see. It's yeah, we don't know what's there, but people can move through there.
They can look down onto people
Yeah.
in various rooms and things,
Um,
watch them, drop things on them, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah. Oh, this is how that attempted poisoning was carried out. The person who did it was never actually in the room. They were above.
Ah, and dropped it not at the early part, but in the later part
Uh-huh.
onto the
Yeah.
thing.
Dropped it on him from above.
Nice.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's the attempted poisoning there. Which brings us back to Bao Shi. We've got
Get down to the last few.
last two. What does
All right.
that passage into the Buddha say, or back to the hairpin? I think the hairpin may be in Song Da's court, so maybe we'll want to play with the passage and what that tells us.
All right. Okay. I think that the passage beneath the Buddha there is, I'm going to just go fairly, I think it's fairly simple setup here. I think that the passage beneath the Buddha is so that as the ceremony goes on, which is going to be the height of this ritual, I think it needs the whole big shebang going on. It's how they can quietly bring in the faux prince to do, and then be able to bring it back out quickly to do the reveal
The
at the end of the
switcheroo,
ceremony.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it points to the fact, the confirmation. I mean, the Empress Dowager is the one who's behind this construction. She's the one who appointed that priest. She has been behind it. All of this has been at her command.
Oh, that's bad.
And then Sangda, I think you've already kind of tied that hairpin in with your earlier scene, but is there anything you want to add to that?
I would like to unmute myself and then maybe add something.
Sure.
I think now that we have Moon and Thunder there sort of more in his right mind, he discovers something strange in his hair, a fake of that hairpin. I think whoever was controlling him, probably Indigo Judgment, had sent him into the room with Winter Iris to try and make that false connection, to try and get that book off of her. And then when things went wrong, that's where the whole poisoning fell out.
Yeah, he probably manipulated things to allow Moon and Thunder, who was clearly going to go in there to look through the scrolls, put them in, and if he got killed, that's another one. And clearly Indigo Thunder knew enough, had picked up enough about the hairpin to plant a fake one and have that ready. All right. So that is 11 clues, complexity 8. So that is rolling with a +3. I think Tyler rolled last time, so he's not allowed to roll this time. He should, however, roll his start of session move before we go too much further.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But we're not letting you roll the mystery one this time.
I got a 9.
Got a 9. So you have a 9 sitting on the table. So I saw Sangda put his finger on his nose. So Lao Sanjanai or Chaolin needs to roll for this mystery solution.
I mean, I have been failing, so.
So Janai,
Um,
as the last person to speak, everyone else has stepped back from the line and you are still standing there forward.
I mean, I could continue my
muted.
failing streak, but I don't think you want me to.
She looks back at the three of you, traitors all. Would you do this?
But this is where the line always was.
All right.
So-
So I'm going to roll a 2d6, and then we
Plus
are going to
3.
try to plump this into something good. Okay, we can do it, people. We've
Got
got
it, dear.
we've got a +3. I got a 5 +3.
So that's an 8.
It's an 8.
So I think you will realize that, in fact, the timetable has been moved up for these people. That even as that effigy is burning, they are likely gathering while all attention is there to finish this ritual off. And that is probably happening right now. Let's take 5, and we're going to come back for the conclusion. Classic figures dancing, masks, night, lanterns, fireworks going off, the streets crowded, and the 4 of you rushing across through these crowded streets to get to the temple. Yes, Tyler, did you want to say something?
5. I think Iris is with us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So you are making your way across, traveling, as fast as you can. I think we cut from that to the classic, almost Hammer horror scene of the temple and the banners behind and lanterns and figures there with masks on. So we can't identify who they are. One we definitely see has the white hair of Indigo Judgment. We definitely see one is the priest, but we can't tell who the others are present in the scene. Maybe some of them are servants, but is one of them the Empress Dowager? Is one of them Lady Phantom? Like, we don't know. They're in outfits and things like that. We haven't quite told, but we see them going with a cup of blood, and the symbology there as they move through it. And then we cut back to the 4 of you running through the streets, making your way there. Who would like to do the approach roll? Not Sherry. She's already had her time for this. Tyler?
I can do it.
Oh,
Hey, Patrick.
Good at movement.
okay.
I have the lightness.
So this
You
is
do.
this is your strength. So let's have you roll an overcome roll. We'll kind of judge what position you're in. 10 plus, you kind of get there and kind of have a controlled entry. 7 to 9, we're kind of start in a risky place, and on a miss, this does not go particularly well for you. What do you want to roll with? How many elements do you have marked?
I have a few marked, not all of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna risk it and roll with fire. Speed is too appropriate here, and passion also.
Yes.
Ooh, they tried, but that's an 8.
That is an 8. So you are making your way through there. We do that cut back and forth, and we see you like speed and your worry about what's going on is the better part of Valerie over discretion. And I think we do see you all come in to that great hall, and we see those figures there as they are finishing up close to completion on their ritual. You can definitely see Indigo Judgment is there. You can definitely see that the priest is there. Our abbot is present. And there are 3 other figures masked who are there besides the prince, who is kind of laid out on a table. So who these other 3 are is uncertain. We're going to go with Shaolin and then Baoshi and work our way around. Shaolin, what do you want to do? And there are some troops. There's like the clearly the people with the other abbot servants have been mentioned that are kind of in the background.
Okay. Is there like any implement, piece of equipment, torch, whatever, that seems particularly important to this ritual?
It definitely seems like there are a set of what you would consider sort of chi accumulation objects that are up at the 4 cardinal points on the circular table that this pseudo prince is laying on.
Awesome. I would like to break at least one of those with my boomerang blades.
Ooh, excellent. So that's an overcome roll.
And I think, again, this is speed. I'm not thinking too much about this.
Absolutely.
Like, that looks important. Let's break it. So, fire. That's 10.
That is a 10. So you will. What is the object? What is it? Is it a skull? Is it some kind of cube? Is it something else? What is it that you break?
It's a skull with like a clay like cone on like sort of molded to the top that's holding some liquids, that unidentified liquid.
Yeah, green bubbling alchemical liquid. It'll hit. That will go shattering. I think the liquid will hit one of these like assistants who's standing by, and he will scream out as it burns through the sort of they're just in robes with a cloth mask. They don't have a fancy mask on it. And they go falling over onto the ground. That brings us to Bao Shi.
All right. I want to try something. I don't get to use this often. Maybe it'll work. Tell me if it doesn't. My guess is this prince laid out, but he's all been prepared, so it's not like he's even tied down. He's been worked and
Subject to various mental manipulations and that kind of thing.
I'm going to be moving over towards him, as we're rushing in, and I am going to attempt to catch even his glazed eye. You do not have to go through this. You fight against it. Fight against it. And I am attempting to do my love on delivery to manipulate affection against these people, since it has its opposite effect I can do.
Let's have you
roll. Will that work?
I may modify what you're doing.
I am, so you
in the context of this, because of something I think that could be in play here. But
cool.
Let me.
My main thing is that it'll hopefully cause some disruption. All right. So I think that this is going to probably be presence. So it's Earth.
Okay.
Not my best roll, but let's see how it goes. Let's go with a 7 because I like the complication.
So I think as you do that, we will see him kind of lean forward, kind of start to to bring himself up, and you will see one of these robed figures that's to the side tear off their mask, and you will see Ping Nangu, the woman in black who Chow Lin spoke with, the one who, when that thing went down, rushed over to the prince. You will see her leap across, take advantage of the distraction, and grab him and leap off to the side. Though she is still surrounded, but she has pulled him off of the dais. You can tell that you see it in that moment. You can tell that she knows who he was. You can almost see the old story. This was her love. She's been trying to find out what's going on, and you have given her the opportunity to pull him away, even though he has been desperately changed by what has happened. Song Da.
I think Songda is there sort of at the entrance with them, and there's that moment of the guy like screaming as his face is being burned, and eyes sort of turn towards there, and in that moment he just zips across the room almost too fast to see, standing right behind Indigo Judgment.
And
we're not quite there yet. So I think he is like trying to like he pulls on the back of his robes to try and spin him and disorient him, and then he like jumps by and grabs the mask and like tries to turn it halfway around his head, so it's sort of like blocking his vision. Basically, I'm trying to get in his way, keep him occupied.
It feels to me like you have watched Indigo Judgment before. You have studied him. Does it feel reasonable that we can have you roll new technique, that you have thought about this, like what you need to do to put Indigo Judgment off balance? You don't want to fight him. That's not your way.
Yeah. And I'm still holding that as that it may come to that, but
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
Okay.
No, I like that. That's neat.
Yeah, then what do you want to roll that with? Well, actually, I'm actually going to give you the full +3, because it's the number of times you've seen your foes fighting for him, and you have seen Indigo Judgment repeatedly throughout this series. So
Nice.
I'll let you roll that with a +3. Because you could still fail.
Oh, I am trying. I'm trying my best. But that's an 8.
So what is it that you have figured out about the
I'm going to give him my 9.
What is it that you have figured out that
Oh.
comes through, that you know crystal clear, that is the way to put Indigo Judgment, like make him vulnerable? Is it a nerve strike? Is it an unbalancing thing? Is it something about the lightness skill that you have? What is it?
Oh, this is the climax, and it is desperate, even if it's not. What if it's something that he saw in that book?
Oh, yes.
What if it's like a sort of subtle nerve strike that's supposed to throw off his chi?
Yeah, the kind of thing that you don't want to do, and yet I think we see you. Do you use it? Do you reduce his scale?
Yeah. I think what it is he goes in and he's trying those like distraction and try and throw him off balance and play with his mask, and it's not working. Indigo Judgment is moving too fast, or like just rips off the mask. I just keep bouncing off of him, and in desperation, just like that picture of the page flashes in my mind, and I see the like diagrams of the hand techniques, and before Songda can even think about like the consequences of what he's doing, he does the things and reaches out and does it.
Hits, and I think we'll see him kind of stagger. There is that moment. We'll see him, of course, the mask comes tearing off, and he'll look at you, and there is a look of absolute shock as he's, but you are, this is not, and you can see that he is thrown off balance,
And
lost
I think
song.
there's that, just for like a visual, there's
Yeah.
that like black smoke sort of rising from where I hit him, but it's also wrapped around my hand and rising off of me.
Oh yeah, lost song. You can see that Song Da has sacrificed a little bit of himself to weaken Indigo Judgment. Indigo Judgment, who has been hunting your great uncle, who has done all of these things, who you're not sure if Song Da could actually deal the blow, but he has done what needs to be done. What do you do, Janai? You're muted, so I hope you unmute before you tell me.
All right. And I think she sort of I think without even thinking, she pulls out her blades. And she's running towards them and she yells, "How many times have you betrayed the royal family trying to hold on to some fragment of the power that they have given you?" And she sort of comes in, and I think that she will do that two-handed strike. Essentially, so she's not using any of her strongest moves. This is a pure fighting thing at this moment. But she does
roll duel. He is at this moment, for this brief second, on your scale.
All right. 2d6 plus 3. That's a 12 plus 3 is a 15.
I think the strike is quick. I think he looks down. He sees where the blades went in and then came out as you step back. And you see him grab on. That white blue robe he has on is just now red, is going down it. And you see him turn, and he looks at Song Da and he says, "I was right to fear you." And crashes to the ground. Even as other figures here are moving into place, we've got that priest, that other masked figure. What do you do, Chow Lin? The ceremony has been disrupted, but the priest is leaping over towards the false prince. I think we will see Lady Fathom tear off her mask, and she is moving towards Zanai and Song Da to cut them down.
Yeah, okay. See, do I want to do something creative, or do I just want to? No, I think I'll just use those boomerang blades on Lady Fathom.
Okay. Absolutely. So when you fight someone who is above your rank, what did you roll?
Oh, you know what? It would help if I
What's your style element?
water.
So add water.
Yeah. Okay. And I rolled, so that's a 7.
Okay.
What is it? 7.
So you get to tell me how she kicks your ass. And then you mark an element of your choice.
Okay.
I think she sees those boomerang blades coming in and she turns. She's got that heavy metal sword staff thing. What happens there? How does she knock you back?
Oh, I mean, let's just go ahead and let her be really cool and catch them on the blade and fling them back at me.
Yeah. Catch, truthful. They come smashing back at you. There's that reverberating sound there, and her attention is focused on you. You feel your bones ache from that hit there.
Yeah.
Bao Shi, you see this.
I do. And I think I have to move towards that priest.
Okay. What is it you want to do?
As he's moving towards the faux prince, and I'm guessing the protector's trying to hold.
She's trying to lift him up with care, but she's kind of caught back in that corner.
All right. I think I'm going at this point, I think I'm going straight at him.
Okay.
And so I don't know his scale, but
That's right.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Because I'm rushing over, we see my scroll cases drop from my sleeves, and I kind of jumping up to the altar and moving in with this sort of twirl dive to try and wrap at his wrists is
Sure.
what I'm trying to do. Make
Roll
his
plus your-
hands.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Roll plus your element.
All right. My element is metal. Yes, metal. All right. Rolling. That's a 9, and I will burn a bud with the prince.
Then you don't have to mark an element when he grabs that scroll case, catches it in air, head turns, and you see him concentrate. And you have a pair of these scroll cases, and this one catches on fire as he focuses his chi energy and burns one of them. And he says, "Not enough, detective."
I think I kind of fall back.
And you see him look, and it is the thing, like he looks, there are other guards around, and he is just arrogant enough that he turns and starts coming towards you. Song Da, Indigo Judgment, who you feared for so long, lies at your feet. You see Bao Shi is being advanced on by this monk. You see Chao Lin is fighting Lady Fathom, who you watched fight before, and you know how dangerous she is. And of course, there are these troops around who are more incidental than anything. But what are you doing?
He says, Last Song Tonight says, "I will back you up. Set them up."
I think Chowlin had the right idea, and I'm gonna dash over to that like circular altar table thing, and there are some interesting and strange substances and alchemical bits there, and I want to grab something volatile and throw it in a brazier near where Chowlin and Lady Fathom are going at it.
Let's have you make your move, your alchemical creation move, and we'll use that to potentially lower their scale.
To water for wisdom, and water's good for alchemy. Oh, that's a 7.
That is a 7. That is just enough. I think you are going to have to mark an element of your choice.
I don't think I've rolled anything other than 5 on the dice all night.
And yet you still live.
Yes,
Yeah,
at least it was. At least they're 5s, much better than the
working.
2s and 3s that Chao Lin and I.
So mark an element.
Mark an element of your choice.
So it should be water.
Okay. I think it is that you're in there. The brazier strikes at this figure and pushes Lady Fathom back. But I think there is that moment when she throws that iron sword.
Oh
It
shit!
clips you as it reverberates off the wall and flies back into her hand. And you
Oh well,
feel
that is just showing off.
the crack as it's like one of your shoulders is frozen up by that strike. But she is off balance. Janai.
I think that's it. Is Janai follows that sword, that big heavy rod back, because if there's anything she understands, it's the weight of these things, and she follows that line that this one.
What are you doing to lower her scale? That last degree necessary.
So Shaolin can get her. That is a good question.
That sword is flying back to her hand.
Yeah, I think. I remember a nasty trick that my uncle would do, which is that while someone is moving backwards, all he would do is put his blade down just behind one of their feet and sort of slice across their ankle, because all they can do then is they're like spinning around trying to figure out how to keep their footing then from then on.
That's overcome.
Okay. I have nothing on this. Is just a roll. It's just a roll.
What are you spending?
I'm going to spend earth because that's what I used.
Okay.
It's my sword, so of course it's earth. Okay. But again, I am always closing this thing. So I'm rolling 2d6 and I'm adding 3.
Yep.
So that's 14.
So you get up, even as she catches that heavy sword, she's forced to like do a lightness backflip to avoid the blades that you drop behind her, so that she kind of lands with a whoomph off balance. Shaolin, you have your opening.
Awesome. Let's try this again. Flutter.
Oh yes,
that's 12.
What does that look like? How do you drop Lady Fathom, this person who served as an assassin of the Emperor, who killed someone and took their form?
While she is catching her balance, I throw both of these blades, and in the process of dodging the first one, she knocks over one of those containers of mysterious liquid, and like the second one hits her, but she falls into this weird steaming bubbling goo.
Yeah, hits that even as it hits the floor and like burns through the wood floor, and she screams as phosphants, green flames lick off of her as her body tumbles down into the basement. And I think we can hear the sound of crackling and fire down there in those labs down below there. And Bao Shi.
All right. As the priest is advancing, I kind of step back.
Namaste.
As he says that, I say, oh, I should have mentioned, you're not the only one who is intimate with the talents of Bad Valley. And I'll look down at his hand as he looked down to where he crushed my scroll case, sees the glittering dust that is on his hand, and Iris throws wine towards his mouth.
Roll House of Traps.
All right. This feels like calculation control. This feels like battle. All right. That's a 9, and I will spend I will spend one with I guess I have multiple people here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend it with Sonda.
I think it's appropriate that this is that he does it. He looks down, he sees the glitter, the wine hits his face. You'll see him choke back. He tries to move towards you, even as you see the blackening from that poison hit on his hands. And I think there'll be that sort of gagging as he tries to step towards you. And then he falls backwards into that pit of fire. And I think that it is now just a group of you getting out of the temple, even as it burns, even as it goes down. You will grab the false prince. You will grab Ningu. You will make your way out of there, out into the night. I think that there is there as the flames catch. I think that there's you standing there, and I think the camera pans over, and we will see Hell, and we will see Black Pearl, and we'll see the general, and we'll see the Dowager Empress, all of whom came out to view the ceremony and possibly for possible deniability. And they will look at you, and you will see the general say something to the Dowager Empress, and the Empress will nod and simply raises her fan and then puts her fan back into her arms, and Black Pearl leads the Empress and the general away. Hell stands there for a moment, watching, and then follows. And Master Zhaijing will come over to where you all are, smoke covered and dusty and all of that, and will say, friends, come with me. There is a fire. We must get you out of here. We'll get you someplace safe.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, how unfortunate.
And the next day, without ceremony, without comment, you will see the Dowager Empress's entourage gathering to take their leave. What is the epilogue scene for this mystery, either in the immediate aftermath or a little bit down the road, Shaolin? Keeping in mind, we will be playing these characters again.
I think it's Shaolin going to Song Da and saying, we for the sake of the Bureau of what's it? Bureau of Legends. There we go. Legends. I keep wanting to call it history, and that's not it. I mean, same, but anyway, yeah. We can't reveal that that Indigo Judgment was what he was doing.
I appreciate that, but I fear we may not be able to cover up everything. There were many witnesses, and he had many nefarious plans.
How many people actually know what he was? He had so many nefarious plans. Does anyone know what they really were?
I agree, though. The future of the Bureau is uncertain.
Let me cut away from that then. Bao Shi. What is the epilogue, the immediate aftermath, or a little bit down, the kind of the setup for what has happened or what comes next?
I think we see in kind of an official, administrative building, we see Magistrate Danon up at the seat of adjudication, and we can see that there is 12th Hound. Is that right? 12th, 11th Hound, 11th Hound. We see several other like village people, not the village people, but village folk, witnesses. As I wrapping up, and as I clearly show, Shaolin was already in the village of Banghai before any of the murders occurred. It is evident Shaolin is completely innocent of this, and any further talk that would malign his honor is absolutely litigatable. And as we see the sort of agreement of Magistrate Danon, we have the mayor of mayors,
Master
Come up.
Zhaijing was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been is that's impressive as I go, and I would like to take you up on that offer of patronage. Sir, I've been thinking, and perhaps not a true society, but at least a detective agency. The Shekai de Jay, the agency of the unraveled knot, sir.
Ah, I like that very much. I like the sound. I like it has a poetry to it. And I know you are a poet, so yes, yes. Excellent. I look forward to our relationship.
I think we see us pass out.
Song Da.
I think we see Songda. It's like the next day. He's still got like horrible wounds on him, so there's like a brief line of red across one cheek. And he's got black gloves on now. And he's standing in front of Sister Lucian with his eyes downcast and saying, Indigo Judgment, well, he worked for years to undermine everything that the Bureau is about. He put the entire faction into jeopardy with the Emperor, and rumors of what happened here, I fear that we won't be able to stop them all, no matter how much work we do. The Bureau is in danger, and I know I've always been a disappointing pupil, and even worse, I've tainted my vows. But you, Sister Lucian, you have the dedication. You have the reputation. You could save us. You could change the Emperor's mind. Please, how can I help you?
Hold down the fort here. I will go to the capital, and I will see what can be done to restore the Bureau's honor. He was right to fear you, because you would see through all of this.
And he grips his right hand to his chest and says, I don't think that was the only thing inside me to fear.
Do we see the book? Do you still have it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she has like turned to the side, and he reaches into his robe and like half pulls out the book like he's going to give it over to her. And before she can turn back, it's back inside his robe and he leaves.
Nice. Lost Song Shanai. You're muted.
Oh, great. I have to follow that. Okay. Let's see here. I think what you see is Undaunted Zedon. And they are, what do you say, lurking around Grave of Saints, essentially giving him the what for. And then there's that moment when she sort of plops herself down next to him, and she goes, and it sort of breaks, like her expression breaks, and you see that it's actually Ben Janai the whole time doing it, but like really had all the mannerisms down and the voice and everything. And she goes, how is that?
Quite good. Perhaps too good. It's like you've had experience with this.
There's a set of rules for doing this. I'm trying to apply them, but I have to study the masters. So I couldn't do it without you.
And I think we cut from there to a scene on the road. There is an inn, a tavern. We're out somewhere on the road, and we see a figure come in, and we see that it is Songbird June. And Songbird June comes in, and he see him go upstairs. We've seen this scene before where he goes up, and we see him go upstairs, and we see him do the signal knock, and the door opens, and there's a figure in there. We didn't see the figure before. And June comes in, and June says, they have granted me mercy. What should I do? And the other figure says, go back. Be kind to Baoshi. That is all you need to do. Nothing more? No, nothing more. And June nods. And the camera pans over, and I think we see Master Zhajing seated there. And we see him doing this with his fingers. And that's where we're ending this particular arc.
Also good.
let's do just a quick round of stars, thoughts, things you want to say about the arc or the session, or your characters. We will next year do another arc of this, another couple of mysteries. We have Bad Valley out there as a theme to play out, and some other mysteries to play with. Ethan, is it okay if I start with you here? Go same order?
Sure. Yeah. Stars. I mean, everybody. That's stars to everyone's epilogues except for mine. I'm glad I didn't have to follow any of you. I'm glad I went first for once.
Nice. Bao-Shi, Tyler. Did Tyler step away? Oh,
I think you might be in the other room.
okay. Well, we'll just give him a minute here. We'll take our catch our breath break here. I have to drink down this tea, or water rather. So many good characters that I hope we can bring back. So
Mhm.
Sorry, I thought I had a second.
that's okay. That's okay. Bao-Shi, Tyler.
Oh, amazing! God, Bob, everything about this. I loved what we came up with as a solution that ended up working really, really well. Everybody put something in that kind of defined it, and so it felt very collaborative. I loved getting a chance to visit Pine. I like Pine a lot.
Yeah.
The fight was cool and interesting. You really nailed the tension and the landing lull. This felt so satisfying for so many things we've been dealing with over all this time. I'll admit, I sort of thought that when we saw the figure up in the room, it was going to be Iron Lotus. But having it be the master, I was like, oh my God, yes, oh, that's so perfect. It was phenomenal. All of you were just amazing. This game is so much fun. I just can't wait to see us more.
Yeah.
This is such a great, great fun game.
Good pair of mysteries. Like I hate to say this as a GM, but I really like they fit together well. The arc between them worked. I was very happy with that. Everybody's play. We got a lot of the characters back. Oh, it was good. Good. Patrick.
Yeah, this whole session was cool. Like, it was very cinematic. I loved bringing the performers from the Golden
Yes.
House back and doing a big fancy thing there. And I just loved the like Tyler said, I thought the solutions, the way we worked out the mysteries facets there was really cool. I loved the like twisted body horror aspect of like using these dark magics to warp people into new people. I loved that the theme of those like corrupted techniques and the chi poisons and all that came back in a really neat way. That was all super cool. Let's see, particular ones. Ethan, I love getting to see your boomerangs, and lol, I love that you responded with like, "That's not a boomerang. This is a boomerang." But in particular, Ethan, going for the full-on Joker death for Lady Fathom was just great. Like, throw her in the bubbling chemicals. It's either an awful death or an awful origin story, and I can't wait to see which it is. Sherry, I really appreciate you bringing everyone in and leading a full-on heist to the burning effigy. That was a super fun like interlude sort of there in the middle, like an action point between all of the talking. And also with your epilogue there, like, I would be so curious to see, or so interested to see Lost Song Janai evolve into like a mimic or you know a copier out there. That's very interesting, like moving away from just your uncle in particular and spreading that out. It would be fascinating. And Tyler, Bao-Shi's great. I loved your little like uh solution for the accusations against Shaolin there at the very end.
Nice. Yeah, good
Um,
callback.
Yeah, I always love seeing you do your scroll things. I think that gives neat visuals. And oh my god, pulling out the thing of like, you're not the only one that learned from techniques from Bad Valley. That was amazing. That
So
was
good.
so good. Every reference to Bad Valley just makes me giggle, but that was just such a great dramatic moment.
Awesome. And Janai.
This last episode was kind of that perfect, like all the beats were right on for this group, this mystery, this kind of point in the arc where we are, where we've just done something super significant, had a brush with things way too big for us, and now it's like that kind of each of us turning a different corner, I think, is a different way of looking at it. It was just really good. I loved all the epilogues. I just loved the fight. It was like really good in this, and substantially we were clever and capable. That's kind of nice to see. And yeah. And yeah, that just worked out great. It was nice to see the sort of that group of four stepping out and having the, as you said, plausible deniability, and we all kind of step away from each other. So yeah, there might be a real reason for having other personas now for all of us. So, but yeah, oh, good stuff, Lowell. Great.
Good.
Well run. All of you were awesome. It was super fun. And the dice were loathsome.
They were
So-
pretty loathsome. They were very swingy. Like you had
at the
some very
end,
highs and very bad.
yeah, but it was very swinging. So
I am going to stop the recording